I don't know if that's better or not. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get going. I don't wanna keep everybody waiting. So what we're making today are, you guys have seen me posting these box pouches, and I have been wanting to share it, but I've been trying to tweak a couple things for the Cricut Maker. So there's a couple of them. Here's another one. So I've made several different sizes, several different kinds. This is the one I made this morning. I was going to do live. And here's another one. And these are all lined pouches, fabric lined. Really cute. I think they're perfect for travel cosmetic bags, your travel pill bags, just to keep, if you want to keep like some sewing stuff in it, whatever. And you can work with the size. I made these to go with, so we can cut them on the Maker. But this is what I really wanted to do. I wanted to make one with a different color bottom. So it took me a little bit to figure out exactly how I wanted to do this and the best way to do it. So we're going to do this, but if you want to make it all one color, you can absolutely make it one color. It's the same pattern. So I do have a pattern for you in Design Space. I'm going to share that with you. It'll be in the video description. You can make this absolutely without cutting it with the Cricut Maker. However, I just like how precise everything is. It's exactly the way it needs to be. So the first thing you're going to do, you're going to need 2 pieces of cotton fabric, approximately 12 inches wide by 17 inches long, if you have the long pink fabric mat. If you don't have the long pink fabric mat, then you can make 2 pieces 12 inches wide by, I would go 9 inches, and then you're gonna just cut it on the smaller mats. But since I can have the larger mat, I'm gonna do it that way. You're going to need some Heat and Bond fusible fleece. I got this at Joann's. You can get it at Walmart. You can get it all different kinds of places. You can also buy it by the yard. So I have fusible fleece, and I like this better than interfacing because it kind of gives the bag that extra stabilization and that little bit of a poofy quilted look. So I really like that. You're going to need a zipper that is at least 12 inches long. Mine's a little bit longer. And what else do we need? We got our Heat and Bond. We got 2 pieces of fabric. And if you're doing the shorter mat, you're going to need 2 pieces for each. 2 for your lining and 2 for your outer fabric. And again, if you're using the shorter mat, you're going to cut each piece 12 by 9-ish. Okay, so I've already cut part of this, but I wanted to show you I'm going to push this down so you guys can see my work surface. All right. So what I've done is I took a piece of this Heat and Bond fusible fleece, and it comes in, let's see, this is 20 inches by 1 yard. So you're going to cut that down to the same size as your fabric. So in my case, it's the 12 by 17. And this is how it looks. It's got a rough side and a smoother side. The rough side is the adhesive. So I'm going to take my fabric and I'm going to put it pretty side down. Well, actually, let's put the fleece down. Let's do it this way. I'm going to put the fleece rough side up. So this is the adhesive side. Put the fleece rough side up. I'm going to put my fabric pretty side up. So the rough side of the fusible fleece is facing the back of my fabric. And you can use your iron on the cotton setting, but I love using the Easy Press because I can do a whole bunch at once. All right, so get rid of that. Hi, Joan. Thanks for joining us. All right, so it just takes a couple of seconds. I've got my Easy Press on 305 at 30 seconds. If you're using an iron, you're going to want to put it on your cotton setting. But like I said, I love using the Easy Press for this because it's just so easy to get a large piece of fabric done. And then you're just going to see it just kind of sticks to the fabric. All right, so we're good. Put that back. And we're done with that. Okay, I'm going to flip the screen over for a second so I can show you the design space file. So here we go. So this is what the design space file looks like. And I have it so, oops, let me get over here. I have it so that it's all attached. So this is attached so that I can cut it on a 12 by 17 piece of fabric. If you're going to cut it on a 12-inch mat, you're going to right click and click detach. And then you can arrange these however you want to fit on your mat. Now I will tell you, if you're using a directional fabric, these two bottom pieces, you want to make sure they're going in the same direction. Okay? Don't, because I did have it flipped over, and then that would make, if you're doing a directional pattern, that would be upside down. So make sure they're both in the same direction. So you have your outer with fusible fleece are the red. The lining is in the green. And then this tab, I made it in a different color so it would go on a separate mat. But you can obviously cut it in your lining fabric or your outer fabric or a totally different fabric. That's totally up to you. So the one thing you want to do, as I have been doing, is this right here, your guide. You're just going to turn that off because you don't want to cut that. I just did that for your edification of what each piece is for. Okay, so you would just turn that off. And it's right here. All right, so I've already cut one piece of this, but I'm going to go ahead and cut this one. And you can see it's telling me I need a 24-inch mat because I have all those attached, and that's exactly what I want. And it's showing me that my fabric, my stuff needs to be, you know, roughly 11.5 inches by 17, which is what I cut it at. So let's go ahead and cut this. I'm going to hit continue. Now I will tell you, with the fusible fleece, you're going to want to up the pressure on the cotton setting just a little bit. So let's, waiting for my machine to register here. All right, here we go. So I'm going to choose medium fabrics like cotton, and then see right here where it says pressure. You can use the default pressure, or I'm going to click on more because this is just, it has that fusible fleece on it, and I want to make sure it cuts all the way through. So we're going to use the rotary blade, and I'm going to switch you back to live. All right, there we are. And I'm looking over here, trying to multitask here. So I've got my machine over here. You're going to load this on your mat, and I put the fabric side against the mat. Let's see, I'm going to put it this way. And just make sure that's lined up. Hopefully I cut this close enough. We're going to have enough fabric. But so you're going to put your fabric side down. You can put the fleece side down, but then you're going to have all those fuzzies on your mat. I didn't want that, so I'm going to move this and load this in the maker. And I can turn you guys a little bit. You can see it. Here we go. All right, so we're going to load that in the maker. Back. Okay, so before the video, I already cut this part. Let me switch the screen around so I can see what you see. All right, it's going to cut that while we're talking. So I already cut this part, which was, well, the way I'm going to do it, part of it's going to be my lining, and part of it's going to be the outer fabric. But I've got two of these. So I'm going to do the two-tone bag like this. So part of it's going to be this fabric, and part of it's going to be the one you just saw. So I need your guys' opinion. Which color of zipper do we need? Do we want to do? We can do subtle, like this. We could do this one. Both of those are pink. We could add fun and put orange. There's orange in these butterflies. Or bright and cheery yellow. What do you guys vote? Any opinions? Nobody has an opinion on the pink, orange, yellow. Okay, we picked them all. We like dark pink or light pink? Orange, yellow. Oh my gosh, there's the opinions. So this is, I think, going to be the top of the bag. I'm going to use these two fabrics. So picture this. Do we want yellow peeking out? Like this? Do we want pink? Dark pink? All right, you guys seem to be liking the dark pink, so that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so this finished cutting. And isn't that amazing, you guys? Look how precisely that cut. I'm just in awe of this every time I use it. So we have our other pieces. So we're done with the Cricut. Get that out of our way. And look how little we wasted by attaching that. That's what's left out of my 12 by 17 piece. Okay, here we go. Now we're gonna get into the fun part. I'm gonna move this where you guys can see. Y'all know how awesome I sew, right? All right, and I already cut a few squares for my tab. So I was kind of waiting to see which color you guys picked for the zipper. So we're gonna use these for my tab. Do I want pink? I don't know, I might still use the yellow. I'll use the yellow. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do, let me pull this down if you guys. So hard part about trying to do sewing videos. The first thing we're going to do is start with the pieces that are going to be the zipper. So you're going to need, if you're going to do the two-toned, you're going to need one of each of these. So what you're going to do is take the fabric that's going to be on the top of the bag, the fabric that's going to be right here on the outside by the zipper. Okay? So that's where it's going to get confusing, because when you do it all one, you can just say outer and inner. So that's the fabric that's going to be on the top that's showing. We're going to put that face down, pretty side up. It's the same zipper thing we've been doing. We're going to take our zipper, here's the pull. We're going to put it pull side down, the zipper's face down. And this, I like to use a long zipper because I can leave the pull up here out of my way and I don't have to fiddle with it when I'm trying to sew. So I'm a fan of the long zippers. Then you're going to take your lining and put it face down, okay? You're gonna line up everything. Make sure these corners are lined up. Make sure everything's lined up here. And go ahead and clip it. Make sure you touch the zipper. Oops. Wow. Must be a new clip. It's not very broken. And we're down here. Okay. Now we're going to sew the zipper. I like to sew with the zipper side where the teeth are up so that I can feel the zipper on my zipper foot. My pedal over here. And I line the edge of the I line the edge of the presser foot. I have my zipper foot in. I line that right up with the edge of the zipper. I hope you guys can see. And I will catch up on the comments after the video. Sure we catch it. So we're going to start off with the zipper a little bit, and then I'm going to back stitch, and just take your time. You want it nice and straight. Keeping that zipper along the edge of the presser foot. Like I said, if you're using a long zipper, it makes the zipper thing installation so much easier. You're not trying to battle the tails and you're not trying to battle the pull. and back stitch at the end. Okay. So here's what we got. You open it up. This is going to be the top of the bag. There's the zipper, and here's the lining. So what we're going to do is pull this nice and taut, and I'm going to turn around. Oh, I think I can do it over here. Ah. Just pull it nice and taut, like this. Make sure that it's not buckled up under there. And I'm going to hit it with the iron. The thread there. Okay, we're going to hit that with the iron. And we're keeping that nice and taut. I want to make sure when I top stitch, I'm not top stitching a bubble in it. Turn it over. Since I put fleece on all my pieces, you don't have to put fleece on the inner, but just to keep it from getting too confusing, I put it on all of it. So this is going to be extra puffy. All right. So it should be looking like this. All right, here's our zipper pull. This is going to be the outside of the bag. So now I'm going to stitch right down right here, close to the zipper. It's called a top stitch, and that's just going to keep all that fabric together where it's supposed to be. And just because this is so bulky, I think I'm going to clip this together just because I don't want it to pull up and get out of alignment. The more even you can keep this, the easier this project is. All right, so I'm going to sew. Still have my zipper put in. Let's go on this end. I'm going to line that up just like I did before. And this is where you really want to take your time because this seam is going to show. So I want to keep it nice and straight. I'm kind of pulling that fabric as I'm sewing just to make sure it's not buckling up. Okay, so here's what we just did. We just sewed that seam right there. And what that did, sewed all that together, all right? Take our clips off. Now, all right, you guys, if you don't have the clips, you can totally use pens. Don't feel like you gotta go out and buy clips to make one bag. Ooh, just heard a weird noise. Okay, so now we're going to take, again, the other side of the zipper that's going to be on the outside. We're gonna put that face up. We're gonna take our zipper, again, here's the pull, face down. We're gonna take our lining and put it face down. All right, we're gonna line that up. We're lining up these edges and clip that into place. This is a super quick project. There's another way to do it, and that's the way I did the very first one I made. I didn't cut these squares out, and it'll also eliminate the seam on the side. But I like having the two-tone, so this is the way I figured out to do it. So if you watch other tutorials, you'll see where they just use a large rectangle and then they cut corners out of it. This is a lot easier. Okay, so we're gonna go zipper side up. Align that zipper foot up with the edge of the teeth of the zipper. And here we go. Back stitch. Threads. I think it's great. Make sure you're lined up. And back stitch. Okay. Put your threads. Okay, so here's what we got. And again, we're going to grab these two pieces because this is kind of setting up like that. So you're going to pull that down. So you have this little sandwich. And again, we're going to press that down. Make sure that you have a nice, even, no buckles before we sew it. Works to kind of pull it out as you're sewing it or pressing it. All right, I'm gonna turn it over. Do the same thing. Pushing the seam over. All right, so now we're going to sew down this side, just like we did before. Nice and slow. Lining that up. And here we go. Take your time. You guys aren't going to believe how easy this project is. Okay. We're doing awesome. Okay. Next, we're going to take our little rectangle of fabric, and I just free cut this. I didn't cut this on the Cricut because I wasn't sure which one you guys were going to pick, so, and it doesn't really matter. So you're going to take your rectangle, press it, and then you're going to fold that in half with your fingers. Just make a little crease and then fold the inside to the middle, or fold the side to the middle and press. Super simple. And then we're going to do the same to this side. Fold that in. So you've got both of your ends folded in. So you can see what I'm doing. And press. All right. And then you're going to fold that in half. Okay, so we took our rectangle, folded the insides to the middle. Then we're going to fold that in half so that all the raw edges are on the inside. And press. Pressing makes a lot of difference in the outcome of your project. Okay, I'm going to take my presser foot off. We're done with, or my zipper foot. We're done with that. So I'm going to put the regular one back on. If you don't have a zipper foot, you can put a zipper in with a regular one. It's just a little more cumbersome. Now we're going to sew this edge that's open. We're just going to sew right along that edge, and then we're going to sew down this side. So I'm just going to just do a nice stitch along the edge. Nothing fancy. If you want, just turn it. Go around that end. You're not going to see this end anyway. Turn it And back up the other side. This is a step I forgot to do when I made it this morning, so couldn't really add it back in. So you're going to take this and just fold it in half and cut it in half. Now you have pieces for your tabs on both ends. Okay, so now we're back to this. We have two pieces here. This is where it's going to get a little confusing if you're using two tones. But the fabric that's going to be on the inside, you're going to put that down, face down. That's your inside fabric. The fabric that's going to be, actually I'm going to, because I want to switch this. So the fabric that's going to be your lining is going face down. Sorry. No, I want to do two tones. So my bag's going to look like this, okay? So I want this one face down. Sorry. That one's face down. And then this one's going to be face up. We're going to unzip our zipper. You actually don't have to unzip it quite yet, but go ahead and unzip your zipper, and you're going to lay it zipper side down. Now, wait a minute. It's getting confusing because of the different fabrics. No, that was right. So this is going to turn wrong side out. All right, if I was doing it like this, I would put these sides together. Okay, here's how to remember. Take your front, okay? This is the side that's going to be the top of the bag. There's the zipper, okay? The side that you want to be the bottom of the bag, okay? This is the easiest way to put it together, which I want this to be the bottom of the bag, right? So I'm going to put that face up so it is my zippers face down, the outside of the bag, these are together. So your two outside pieces are together, okay? It's confusing because I'm using the same pattern on both the inside and outside. And then your outside fabric, this is my liner, is going to go face down. All right, so I'll take you through that one more time. Your liner fabric's going face down. Your outside lower piece, which is like the black stripes on this one, that's going face up. Your zipper sandwich is going face down. Here's the zipper. It's going face down, okay? Now, because of everything we've done, these are now a little bit, the sizes are a little off, and that's okay. So let's just center it up. All right, now we're going to clip it here. Here. I just clipped it there, and I'm going to clip it here. And here. Okay. So what we're going to do is sew across here. You can see these are, like I said, just because of putting the zipper in and cutting this and the seam, this is now a little bit smaller, but that's okay. We'll just trim it up. So we're going to sew across here. Then we're going to turn it over and we're going to sew across here. Okay, nothing hard here, but make sure you catch both pieces of fabric. So if you have a shorter side, you want that up so you can see. We're going to sew. Oops. Hope if I got the material under there. Done. Lost my thread. There we go. Okay. So we are going to sew, back stitch, So back stitch. Okay. Now once you do that, you can go ahead, there's my seam that I just put in. I'm going to go ahead and trim off this extra fabric here. And then if you have a serger, that would have been a great place to serge, but I know most people don't. And then you might have a serging stitch on your machine, which I do, but I know most people, some people, not I should say most people, but some people don't. So what you can do is just do a zigzag stitch right here, and that will keep that from fraying. So I'm just going to do a zigzag stitch because that's what I know everybody can do if you have a sewing machine. So I'm just doing a zigzag stitch along that edge just to help keep it from fraying. Okay. So I don't know if you can see it better on that side. So I just did a straight stitch and then I just zigzagged across the edge. Now we're going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to sew right along the edge of that top piece. Oops. Switch back to a straight stitch. Back stitch. Okay, I'm going to trim that edge off. And zigzag on the edge. And I just make sure edges not fray and look a little more finished. Okay, lots of strings here. All right, so this is what we've got right now. Now the other thing I'm going to do is just trim this up right here. Like I said, just because of putting the zipper in, even though these were the same size when we started, everything kind of shifts. So I'm just going to take my scissors and trim those corners up so they match. And sorry, I'm missing all the comments, you guys. One more. I tried adjusting the pattern so that it would do this, but it just really depends on how much room you guys take up when you put your zipper in, because no matter how I did it, it ended up needed trimmed. So we just have to trim it up a little bit. So here it is. I trimmed up those corners. Everything matches. I've got all this stuff sticking out. We're going to clean that up. Now you want to take your little tab. You're going to fold it in half. And you're going to place it. You're going to open up your little sandwich. Make sure your zipper's open at this point. Very important. Open your zipper at least halfway. Okay? Take your little tab, fold it in half. The open ends are up. The folded ends down here. You're going to stick that in right here. And I like to leave the edges out a little bit. That way I know I caught it. All right. Kind of center that with your zipper. And guess what? I'm going to clip it. Okay. And you can clip this end together. Now we're going to go to this end. And what I like to do is take my zipper tails and it's hard to do this holding it in the air. Kind of crisscross them and just clip that together up there just to keep my zipper tails together, okay? You're going to take your other tab Fold it in half, just like we did the other one. Folded side. Open up your zipper sandwich. Place this right in there. This one's a little more difficult because you want to keep those zipper tails together. All right, and we're going to clip it. Go ahead and clip this side together. I'm actually going to trim up some of these strings because I don't want to sew them into my project. God, I'm sticking all over the place. If you have any long threads, go ahead and trim them up. Okay, now we're going to sew from here to here. Sorry, from here to here. When you get to the zipper, you're going to go back and forth over the top of the zipper 3 or 4 times. And that's going to keep your zipper from pulling right off. So here we go. I'm just using a straight stitch. You want to make sure you go off the edge of the fabric and go back. And now I'm going to go right over that zipper connection. You can hear it, and then I'm going to back stitch, go back over it, back stitch, go back over it one more time, and finish off my seam and back stitch. All right. So that's what we got. Now we're going to do the exact same thing on this end. Straighten up my fabric a little bit. Keep everything as tidy as you can. All right, now we're going to sew across here. So here we go. Oops. Back stitch. Back. Get over that zipper. Go over it. Back. Back. Over it. Continue off the edge of your seam. And so, I just want to check, see if I caught this fabric. I'm going to go up just a little bit further. I'm just going to go a little bit deeper on that because I'm not sure I caught all of that. Okay. So now take another pair of scissors, not your good scissors, and you can trim off all of this excess, including those tab pieces that are sticking up. So I can just cut the zipper. Don't use your good scissors for that. So just cut that off and do that on both ends. And again, if you have excess fabric, go ahead and cut that off. And then go ahead and do your zigzag on the edges. We're almost done, guys. Well, there's my zigzag, and zigzag this end. All right. Okay, so that's what we have. We have our zigzag. We've sewn those two edges apart. Now's the fun part. Get this out of the way. Trim up all of your strings. Again, we want to keep it tidy. Okay, so what you're going to do, this is the trickiest part of the whole thing, and it's not that bad. It just looks Looks intimidating, but it's once you do one corner, you'll get it. You're gonna open up your bag like this. Here it is, still wrong side out. And you're going to take these two corners, we're opening it up, we're gonna match those two seams right there. So it looks like this. Again, it was like this. You're just gonna pull this side out and this side out and match those two center seams. And I try to push one way and one the other way just to reduce the bulk. Okay? And then you're going to clip it. So something like this. So you want to try to hold it as straight as you can. You'll put that under your machine, and we're going to sew a straight line. You want to try to keep, when you're doing this, you want to try to keep every corner, you want to try to use about the same seam allowance. And I like to use about the width of the presser foot. For me, that's easy. Make sure when you do this, make sure you start off of the fabric or go all the way to the edge of the fabric, because if you don't, your corner is not going to be nice and straight. So start, go back stitch, and go right on through. And go off the fabric. Okay? So that's what we just sewed. See that? Now I'm going to zigzag that just to keep it from fraying. Again, this is, if you have a serger, that's where you can sew this and finish it off all in the same. All right, I got bobbin problems. Hold on. Ooh, not good. Phew. Some stuff lined up in there. Take that off. All right, finish my zigzag. Okay, now we're going to do the exact same thing to all four corners. We're going to go to this corner. We're going to open it up, meet those two seams together, push one way, one the other way, and clip. You guys are talking about the clips. I like using the clips, but you're welcome to use the pins. I just find it easy to remove and quick. All right, so we're going to do the same thing to this corner. Whoops, back of my straight stitch. All right, here we go. Just go slow when you get through that, all that bulk. And again, make sure you go all the way off the fabric. So that'll make your corners nice. I got that one. I need to zigzag it. Okay. So we have this end done. Again, you're going to want to trim all this up, but you guys get the gist. We're going to this end. We're going to open up that hole, meet those two seams together. Try to keep this as straight as possible, and sew that together. It's going to do it without flipping, but let's see. It's pretty bulky. It gets a little bit harder to work with as you get this sewn up. Here we go. Go off the edge of the fabric. Very important. All right, and we got one more corner. Last time. Open it up, Meet your corners. And we're going to okay. We can zigzag that edge. Now, the first ones I didn't zigzag the edge because I didn't know better, but it does look a lot better on the inside of the bag. So you're going to want to trim up all your strings, all your threads. And now, the big reveal, we're going to turn this wrong side out, or right side out, actually. You want to go to each corner and push those corners out. Push them out nice. Get this out of the way. You guys ready for the big reveal? Ta-da! Here is our box pouch, and you have to kind of work it a little bit to get it into shape. Super cute, huh? So it's kind of fun. You got the tabs on the end. I like doing the 2 tones. So, all right, guys. Again, I'm not a sewist, so those of you who are, I'm sure you have better ways to do things, but that's how I do it, and it worked for me. So thank you, guys. Anybody have any questions? I missed all of the chat. Sorry, it was hard to read. I guess I should read it up here so I'm not looking down on you guys. Put this up. If you leave it closed, oh, somebody asked why you open the zipper. Yes, you have to open the zipper so you can turn it right side out. Just reading your comments. You guys are all very welcome. I would have done this sooner, but it, like I said, I was still tweaking. I was trying to figure out how to make it so that you don't have to trim that up, because when you do it this way rather than doing just the rectangles, and then, well, if you guys watch videos, you'll see another way to do it. And if you do that, you don't have that top and the bottom piece kind of shrinking up on you. You can stop saying you don't sew. Thank you. And yes, you can use fat quarters. Just remember, guys, if you want to make it, you know, all on the same fabric on the outside, it's a little less confusing. Ooh. And I think they're just as cute. I made this one this morning using that pattern. And see, the difference is if you do it the other way, like this one, this was one of the first ones I made. There's no seam on the side of these, where this one has the seam so that you can do the different fabric. So this is the other way to do it, and it works. This is a lot quicker to do it this way. And I will tell you, being that I use the fusible fleece on both the lining and the outer fabric, this one's a lot sturdier than this. This one I just put the lining or the fusible fleece on the outer fabric. I didn't put it on the lining. So if you kind of want the stiffer look, this one, you want to put the fusible fleece on both. I have the file is going to be shared in the video description. I've already put it in there, so when this goes live, you guys will be able to grab it. And you guys can resize it. You can make it smaller. You can't really make it any bigger because you can't go wider than 12 inches wide. Well, you could make it bigger if you turned it the other direction, I guess. But this is a nice size, I think. All right, guys, I am going to let you go. It's Saturday afternoon, and I'm sure you've all got better things to do than hanging out with me. I've got leaves to go pick up so that I can pick them up again tomorrow. What kind of fusible fleece? I used, where'd my Heat and Bond fusible fleece. I have that linked in the video description as well. This is fusible. Heat and Bond fusible fleece. It's 20 inches by 1 yard, so you can get a few bags out of, or a few of these bags out of 1 yard. Any other questions? Again, if you don't have the 24-inch mat, you're going to want to detach the file in Design Space so you can cut those on 12-inch mats. Where did I get my ironing pad? This is a Steady Betty. I got it from Amazon. You can get them from, Joann's has them. You can get them from the Steady Betty website. This thing needs, I need to quit sewing on it. It's full of threads. Any other questions? This fabric is by Riley Blake. And I got it at my local fabric store. I bought a half a yard, which is way more than you need. You can do it with back quarter. Did you use the rotary cutter? Yes. The rotary blade, are you talking about on the Cricut Maker? Yes. Anything else? I like your guys' pink zipper. You guys picked the zipper. I really am liking the stiffness of this bag. This is the first one I've done with the fusible fleece on both the liner and the outer fabric. And it's just this, I don't know, you guys can't really tell, but this is a lot more collapsible, where this is pretty sturdy. Have you seen the bonded fabric Andy Griffin is coming out with? No, I haven't. You're welcome, Janice. Did it make sewing together more difficult with the added thickness? Not really. The zipper was the most, I think, has the most bulk right here. So that's a little different than usual, but it wasn't, I wouldn't call it hard. Just a little more to deal with when you're ironing it down. You could also just cut your fusible fleece down a little bit. You could make one of those cut files smaller and cut the fusible fleece down so that there wasn't fusible fleece right where the zipper goes. Anything else? She's bonding the fabric from her line to cut in the Cricut. Oh, that's cool. I hadn't seen that. That's an awesome idea. I'm sure they're going to be great patterns. Zane always has pretty patterns. Yes, these are going to be Christmas gifts for my family, obviously. Like I said, I've been making them like crazy. I already gave away a few of them. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go and go get my leaves blown out. So thanks for joining me. And I will have the links to everything I used in the video description. You guys can check it out. And they are affiliate links. If you use them, it's no cost to you, but it does. I get a little bit of a commission on those, and I appreciate it. But if you don't use the links, that's okay too. All right, see ya.